Wow, seems like it's been so long ago the last time that I streamed. Been a week. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. I've been thinking about it. I don't know. Once a week, it's okay. Maybe twice a week is the magic number. Maybe like Tuesday or Wednesday and Friday or something like that, or Friday and Sunday. I don't know. I have to really give it a thought. I have to think about it a little bit. Sawadee Cup to everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Dale, what's happening, everybody? Let me put my hands in the pot. There we go. Let me do this here. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? What is happening? Let me see here. We're going to get started in just a second. And we're going to talk about the changes with Thai visas over the last 50 years. Because I know that eating soup, actually, I have to buy Alex some soup today because he's his jaw is still wired shut, but it's his jaw is it's not like it was before. They used these really strong bands and closed his mouth to the point where he couldn't. He had to use a straw. Now he's able to eat soft food. His mouth is open. He can talk a little bit. And I don't know when they're going to take the elastic bands out, but I suspect within the next month. So he's doing good, but I got to get him some soup. He hasn't had soup. Hey, how you doing? He hasn't had any soup this whole time, and he's like, all right, I was dying for eggs. Now I have eggs every day. I get him yogurt and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, yeah, we have a couple of blenders, but he uses one, and he usually puts in strawberries or bananas. He puts protein in it. He puts milk in it. Sometimes he puts some peanut butter in it. He puts all kinds of stuff in it. And, he's doing all right. So let's see here. It is a lovely day at the moment. However, as the day progresses, it's going to get hotter and hotter. And in fact, midday, by the time I'm done and I get home, I'm not going to want to go out because it's going to be too hot. It's going to be around 94, 95 degrees. And I'll just stay in with the air conditioner on, which, speaking of which, our electric bill is on the rise. Last month, it was 3,500 baht. This month, it's 6,000 baht, which is not the highest it's been, but I don't like it that high. And I think it's because my wife, she likes to turn the air down to like 22 or 23. I told her, I said, listen, you do that for like 5 minutes and you turn it up to 26 or 27, and the bill won't be so high and you still get a nice, cool place. You don't know what you're talking about. All right, fine. Do whatever you want. And then, midway through the evening, we're sleeping and we're freezing. And I'm like, I told you. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the last 50 years of Thai visas. And I'm going to go over some of these, the way it was. Memories. Like what is it? Memories. Like the corners of my mind. I remember how the visas were when I first came here. That was about 31 years ago. And once I started staying here 30 years ago, I know what the visa system was like. And it's different now. I don't want to say it's that much different, but it has changed. So uh, in the last 50 years, the evolution is rather interesting. And if you've ever lived in Thailand or you're considering moving here, you should be aware of it. The rules do shift, things change. And in the early days, Thailand had a almost open door policy with very few visa requirements, and a lot of expats and tourists could live here for long periods of time with little hassle, but there weren't as many people coming to live here as there are now. Now, everybody back in the US is like, oh, let's go to Thailand. Let's move to Thailand. Let's move to Mexico. Everybody wants to move somewhere. I guess that has to do with the state of America. I don't really know, but uh, I think people are just a little more mobile. They figure, I mean, like me, I figure, hey, I got the United States. It's always there. If I want to go back, I can always go back. That's very unlikely. But if I want to go back, it's always there for me, And then there are other places I can go. But this place, um, you know, uh, uh, you could do a visa run every 2 months for 20 years. It didn't really matter. There were no restrictions. And, you could stay indefinitely. But as this place gets popular, as it has gotten more popular, and the expat community has grown, the government starts to crack down. They impose tighter controls. And this is how it is in every country. You can say what you want. It used to be in Vietnam, you could stay there very easily. It's not as easy now. Now you got to go out of the country. Cambodia, okay, it's easy. Now it's easy. But if people start going there and they start getting a massive influx, they may change the rules. That's what usually happens. Um, Visas that were once easy to extend have become more and more restricted, and visa runs are no longer as simple as they once were. Penalties for overstaying much more harsh, and the introduction of specific visa categories like retirement visas, work permits, and the smart visa have reflected a significant shift in the country's approach to foreign residents. I don't know if you guys know this, maybe some of you do, but I don't even know how long it's been, but I can find out. Um, However, in the past, the overstay was only 200 baht. That's it. It was, and nobody really cared if you overstayed. I mean, if you overstayed a day or two, it was no big deal. Now it is a big deal. Um, Let me just see. It is a big deal. Back in 2003. Wow, God, it's been a long time. I don't even realize that. I thought it was back maybe 2010, maybe 2012. Before, the fine was much lower and lenient, but since then, the 500 baht per day penalty has remained in place with a maximum fine of 20,000 baht, regardless of how long someone overstays. And there are people that overstay here for years, 20 years, 30 years, which is not recommended at all. And now they have things in place where if you overstay, um, and they catch you, that's it. You're banned. You can be banned for a year, 5 years, 10 years. So I wouldn't recommend it, and I think it's pretty stupid. I'm not going to say I've never overstayed. I have overstayed 2 or 3 times, but usually it has to do with you go to the airport. Like if you go to the airport and you have a 2 a.m. flight, but you were supposed to leave the day before, they don't charge you for the overstay. You just get to go, and that's all there is. You just leave. But if you're 2 days late, then they charge you for 2 days overstay. So now we'll talk about what exactly triggered these changes. Why did the government move towards a more regulated, structured system because it wasn't only tourism. There were multiple factors at play. Their economic growth, international pressures, and even China's desire to improve the quality of foreign residents and boost the economy through highly skilled professionals and investors. I don't even know where to start with this one. But what I can tell you is just the pollution alone. I hate to harp on this all the time. They want better investors, higher income. They want people with money to come here. The way that I see it is when you walk down a street and you see garbage all over the place, or you see garbage in the water, it's not conducive to people going, oh, I want to live here. Now, okay, you can go live somewhere, Koh Samui, Krabi, wherever you want to be. Pai, you can be in Pai. You can go there if you want. But the bottom line is there are trashy places all over the place. They just have not, I don't know what it is. They haven't got it together enough to where, I mean, you go to, listen, I was in Krabi. I went to where Riley, and I remember walking down the beach, and, you know, some of the beaches are not all that nice. They're kind of muddy, and that's all right. That's just how it is. And some of the beaches are very nice. But what I noticed is there's all kinds of trash in the mangroves. It's like, why can't you pick this up? Why don't they have people just like they do on the streets? I mean, on Nauman Road down the street, just yesterday, you know, I've marveled. This area is, I would say it's a middle class area, and it's very nice in some places. And if you go down Nauman Road, it's all flowers and it's all trimmed. It's very beautiful. I mean, some of the buildings aren't, but the greenery, the landscape is very nice. And I don't see a lot of the trash. But then, boom, you make a left turn, then there's a canal, and it's filthy. It stinks. And I'm like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you want this to be like India, where I mean, it is. You got filth everywhere, and then you got people that want to live high so living right next to it. Do you want that? You know, I just don't understand that. So anyway, if you don't know already, I know I've gone on for 15 minutes, but I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, an American who's been living here for 30 years, hopefully soon. Don't worry, Richard, it'll go up. I have faith that it will go up. It will rebound. But thank you very much, Richard. That kind of sucks. Anyway, what was I saying? If you like this video, please click like this live stream. Please click like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on the latest videos and live streams. If you'd like to support the channel, there's the VIP section of the channel. It's a whopping $1.99. Is it $2.99? It might be $2.99. I'm not sure. I thought it was $1.99. I have to look. Maybe it's $1.99. I don't know. There's lots of ways that you can help the channel. You can just watch, whatever. And if you'd like to send me a Dear Scott letter or you need a consultation, email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. Okay, exchange rate right now, 33.68. I keep wondering when it's going to go to 34. Supposedly by the end of this month, it will be 36. Now, it's only halfway through the month, but anything can happen, but who knows? Air quality, 64, which is moderate. All right. Why can the air not be clean? Temperature, 28 Celsius. High, that's what it is right now. High of 34, low of 26. And the feel like temperature is 30 degrees Celsius. In Fahrenheit, that's 83. High at 94, low at 79. Feel like temperature is 86. Humidity is 81%. And the forecast Cloudy today, sunny this weekend, cloudy and rainy on Monday and Tuesday, and then back to being sunny for the remainder of the week. Good morning, Dowlo. How's everybody doing here? Okie dokie. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow I have a video talking about whether or not Thai girls think foreigners are mostly losers, which is an interesting topic, which quite frankly, I don't care if they think I'm a loser or not. I don't really care. You want to think I'm a loser? Fine. I don't think I'm a loser. Now, there are losers out there. We know that. Everybody knows that. I mean, why do you have to talk about it? People do, and that's why I'm talking about it. On either Wednesday or next Friday, maybe Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, I don't know. The next live stream is the expat fantasy versus the expat reality. And then sometime next week, I've been wanting to do this for a little while. I'll be doing a little series, a short series where for 1 week, I spend zero cash. I only use QR codes, bank transfers, credit cards, no cash. And it might be interesting, but honestly, I find the digital methods are very, very convenient. But I don't know what it is. I still like cash. Cash is king. And some places now, like Starbucks, they refuse to accept cash, which cash is legal tender. They should be taking it. So it irritates me and frustrates me that they don't want to take it. And you know, the last time I went there just to change some money. I didn't even want anything. I was going to buy a cookie for Nicholas just so that I could change some money. I had 1,000 baht. I wanted to change it. No, sir. Sorry. No, we don't accept cash. And I went, you can't take this money? Cannot. And that just set me off. I just left. I didn't even, you know, that's why I don't go to Starbucks anymore. I've had my fill of them. And I just heard a story from a guy the other day who said he ran into, I guess it was Howard, whatever his name is, the guy who founded Starbucks. He's a multimillionaire. Maybe he's a billionaire. I don't know. But he's rich, right? He's not worrying about Starbucks all that much. And somebody said to him, you know, your coffee is shit. Your business model's good, but your coffee is shit. And he goes, I don't care. Now, this is just somebody telling me this. I don't know if it's true or not. But I don't know why they would lie. This person didn't seem like somebody who would lie about it. And honestly, I don't think they do care about their coffee because their coffee is shit. So anyway, in this stream, we're going to look exactly when the changes began and the timeline of major visa rules that were introduced and how these shifts have impacted expats and long-term travelers and also tourists. We'll also touch on the digital age and how it's changed visa applications. I mean, I don't even understand. Oh, when you're coming in, you have to fill out a TM6 online now, starting in, I don't know what it is, May. Why do I have to fill that out? You don't have it now. Why do I have to fill it out? It's just another pain in the ass. That's exactly what it is. It's just a pain in the ass. They already get a 90-day report. They already got a TM30. They are. It's like, how much overkill do you need? So why are they getting people to fill things out before they're even coming? To me, it makes no sense at all. Unbelievable. Problems with Starbucks is it's coffee and other stuff. They sell too expensive, times 3. Well, I'm sorry you don't like cash, Dowlo. I do. I do like the feeling of having a big wad of cash in my hand. And after you've been handling it, you have a little bit of ink on your hands and you just wash your hands. I like that. But it's been a long time since I've had a fat wad of cash in my pocket. Probably been 10 years since I've really carried around. I used to carry around, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. I used to carry it around in my pocket. It might be all I had, but, and that's just the way that it was. Now it's not like that. And you don't have to worry about getting beat up really, unless somebody's going to take you to the ATM or whatever. But I don't know. I just like cash, right? And I find it offensive. I'm offended that Starbucks and other places are like, oh, sorry, we don't take cash anymore. I don't know. I guess I just got to get over it, Let's see here. Oh, the new visa categories that might be the future for expats in Thailand, like the long-term resident visa. I don't think it's the best thing for me. I don't have a problem with what I got now. You're planning to move here, or even if you've been living in Thailand for years, which I have, understanding this historical perspective on visa changes can give you a better grasp of what's happening now and what's likely to come in the future. So we're going to dive into it here, the 50 years of visas and the evolution and how it all led to the system that we have today. I remember the time having to send my passport to Thai consulate just to get a tourist visa. To the Thai consulate. Why would you do that? I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Every time I've ever done it, I did it myself. I've had to now. What was the name of that place? What the hell was it? Oh, Suan Phlu. Is that what it was? Yeah, Suan Phlu. I think it was Suan Phlu. And if have any of you been to Suan Phlu in the past? Have any of you gone there? That was a nightmare. Oh, in Australia. Okay, I got you. Well, that makes sense. Have any of you that are in the chat right now ever been to Suan Phlu before that? Before Chang Watana was finished, it used to be Suan Phlu, and then they also had a place, one-stop visa and work permit on Ratchada, which is still there, I think. But it's not this. It doesn't have the same function currently. So no one has been to Suan Phlu. I'm the only one. Makes me feel old. Let me see something here. Okay. September 28th, 2019 is when immigration changed their location from Suan Phlu to Changwatana. Did you all know that? And I like this. Oh, they are losers. Maybe you're a loser. I don't know. I mean, why would you call people you don't even know them and they're losers? Why would you say that? That's just so out there. Thank you, Larry. Wow, long time no see. How you doing, Larry? There we go. Give Larry a thumbs up. All righty then. Okay, so 2019. Yeah, it's been a minute for sure. Hey, Cyrus, how you doing? Aloha, aloha. Oh, you're in Hawaii now. Okay. Ah, knee surgery. Well, I haven't had that. I have had hip surgery. I'm waiting to have my knee surgery. I'll have to have that in a couple of years. Um, well, I guess none of you have been to Suan Phlu. If you don't know about Suan Phlu, it was about, I mean, a 50th of the size of Changwatana. It was like 2 stories, and there was like room for like maybe 50 people in the place, maybe 75. All right. There was chairs. Everybody had to sit down, but nobody sat down. People sat down, but people were standing up, and they were all in, like you're supposed to be waiting in line in queue, and people are waiting wherever they want to be waiting. They're leaning up on the wall or whatever, and it's just jam packed. And then they call your number, and somebody, they go running up. It was a madhouse. I'm surprised nobody in this chat remembers it. It hasn't been that long, 16 years. I mean, 15 and a half years. All you guys know Changwatana, which is, or out in the provinces or whatever. And it's like day and night. Much, much easier. All right. Well, that's a bust. Nobody's ever been there. Dowlo, you've never been to Suan Phlu? I mean, unreal. All right. So, I can remember. Okay, there you go. We got one person that remembers it. Have you ever been there? Because if you have been there, you would remember it. You would remember that it was, first of all, it was a pain in the ass to get to, and there wasn't much room for parking or anything like that. The taxi would have to come and carry you to the front, and I mean the front was open. It was an open area. Yeah, they changed in 2009. The front was an open area, so the taxi would drive up, and you'd have to walk in, which was easy, right? But you walk in, and there's people everywhere. And you're like, where do I go? Oh, you have to go around. And I mean, it was just a big hassle, man. It was immigration, Dowlo. It was the old immigration department. I know where your mind is, always thinking about weed. Listen, I got a buddy now. I see him all the time because he's retired too. And he's always got time. So every time I see him, he's like, well, I gotta go. I'm gonna go get a massage. Every time I see him, he gets a massage. I mean, for me, it's like, coffee. But I'm a little tired of coffee. Be honest, I'm a little bit sick of it. I'll drink it, whatever, but doesn't give me the same joy that it used to. Anyway, back in the 70s and early 80s, there were open borders and easy visa runs. In the 70s, many nationalities could enter Thailand without a visa or get a visa on arrival with minimal paperwork. Now, that's kind of the same now, but I think it's changed a little bit as far as the quantity of people who could come in here without any kind of a visa. In 1975, they gave a 30-day visa exemption for select countries. And up until the 80s, visa runs were common, with foreigners crossing land borders for same-day re-entry. Listen, I used to do it. I did it a couple of times where you would just take a minivan or a bus and you'd go to, say, you could go to Myanmar. I mean, you could go to Malaysia, but usually I went to Cambodia. You go to Cambodia to like Poi Pet or somewhere like that. You just walk, you stamp out of Thailand. Then there's the no man's land. Then you got to cross in, and people are trying to get you to buy a visa for $25, $30 when you just had to pay the $20. You're like, no, get away from me. I don't have to pay anything to you, buddy. Then you go in, you pay your money to get into Cambodia. You get in, you get the stamp, and if you wanted, you could turn right back around, walk right back into the country. You might be able to do that now. I don't know, but I think they're trying to phase that out. But that's how it was. And every once in a while, I would say, oh, like I would go and, maybe I'd meet somebody there or something, and I'd hang out with them and, stay for a couple of days. But not much to do. But, you'd hang out, you'd have something to eat, you'd sleep, you go somewhere, you come back, you chill out a little bit, then you go back out again, So the visa runs were common. Now, in the 90s was the growth of tourism and stricter visa controls. In 1992, the 60-day tourist visa was officially introduced, extendable for 30 days. Now, I've done this where you go and instead of just getting a visa for 60 days and then extending it for 30 days, you go and get yourself a multiple entry tourist visa that was good for a year. And because it was a year, it worked out to where you got 15 months. So it was great. You go in and, like I've done it by myself and I've also done it with an agent. And I've talked about this before, but inside of Nana Plaza, I mean, at that time I was living in that area. And you just walk right into Nana Plaza, turn left, go up the stairs. Dude, you're out of the loop, buddy. I hate to tell you. But you turn up the stairs. There's just a little set of like four steps, and boom, right in the corner is an agent. You go in, you give him your money. It's like, I don't know, 10, 12,000 baht. And he'd go, what they would do is they would physically go to the border with like 200, or whatever they did for that day, passports. And then the next day, or 2 days later, they would bring it back. Maybe the next day they brought it back, but it was later in the evening or something. So they gave it to you like 2 days later. You go in, boom. You give your little tab that has your name and all your information. They give you your passport and you leave. And then you have a visa for 15 months. It's fantastic. Very easy. But, it was a multiple entry. So it was still a bit of a pain in the ass. Let's see here. So that was a 60-day. 1998, non-immigrant OA visa for retirees was introduced, requiring proof of income or Thai bank funds. Now, I didn't have, back then I was what? Let me think here. 62, I was 36. Yeah, I wasn't ready for a retirement visa. And I think back then, I don't think I was still on that was 98. I think I would have been married then. I had a marriage visa, or maybe a business visa. I'm not sure, but that's the OA. Then in 2000, the crackdown started, and the visa run restriction started later. But let me just continue. 2001, overstays become officially punishable by fines, but enforcement was weak. So you could overstay and you might not have anything happen before then. Then after, it started getting a little more organized, a little more strict like it is now. Now they're very strict about it. Why would you not want to mess around with weed in Thailand where it is legal and there are hundreds and hundreds of weed shops, thousands of weed shops? Good old days, we could go to Thai consulate, Vientiane, Laos, or get the multiple entry by land border. Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to Laos. I mean, I think I went there. I went there to get my media visa once. And that was the only time I went because they were a little bit difficult. And the same with Cambodia. Cambodia did not want to give me my media visa, even though the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had approved it. And I'm sitting there and I go, it's already been approved. And so I tell them, you need to call the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's what they told me. They said, if you tell me no, you need to call them. And so they called them. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, let him have his visa. And then they gave me the visa. And I was like, wow, they didn't want to give me the visa, even though it was all approved and it was legal. I think it's just you get a total of 90 days with the extension. I think that's well, it depends. If you have a visa, an actual visa, or you are just coming without a visa, you have an exemption. Because I think the one that's the longest now is maybe the 6 months. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's 6 months. Listen, all these visas have been changing, and even little minute changes happen, and sometimes they don't say anything about it. And the visa in one place, you might apply in the US and it might be different than if you apply in say London, or you apply in LA, but in Washington the visa system is a little bit different. You might need something different. So it's a huge pain in the neck. And I used to keep up on all the changes, and now I don't, because there's just too many changes. Well, I think the unlimited border runs have been going on for longer than 2013. But I don't know, because time flies, and I don't really keep up with it much anymore, like I said. But I think it might have gone on until like even with the COVID and everything like that. It's hard for me to say, but I think they were allowing it, even though technically they weren't supposed to. And some people would get shut out, and some people wouldn't. But what I do know, and I always bring this up, is the guy that I knew who used to come in the chat all the time. Oh my God, he had no visa at all. He just came in, he was doing visa runs. And one day they said to him, now this is probably this is about 5-6 years ago. It's been 1900 baht for a long time, Dowlo. But anyway, this guy came in and he said, oh, they're going to kick me out. I said, why are they going to kick you out? Because I need a proper visa. And maybe he did have a tourist visa. I don't know. But because he said, oh, I'm okay. I'm allowed to stay here. And I go, no, you're not allowed to stay here if they don't want you to stay here. That's the thing. I hate to tell you, whether you're in the United States, whether you're in Thailand, whether you're in Switzerland, if they tell you, hey, you're a foreigner, you can't stay here, well, then you better meet their requirements or they're going to give you the boot. I've only ever visited once for a week. I'm stuck in a career in this, but I like your content and dream of living. My dream of living, I've lived here in Thailand for 30 years. Ecuador, I've been to one time, and my friend lives there, and there are a lot of positives about Ecuador. There are some negatives that I don't really like. And personally, I don't think the beaches are quite as beautiful as in Thailand. I could be wrong, but I think Thailand has a more varied topography than Ecuador. But Ecuador does have mountains, and they've got just cities where the mountains are a ways off, and then they have beaches. So and I'm not sure what'll happen about Ecuador. I mean, sometimes I think about it and I think, hey, it'd be great. I can go there. I can go there right now, and I can, if I stayed there for 21 months, I could get my residency. But I'm not going to leave my wife behind and my kids behind. And then to bring them would be a big pain in the ass. It would be costly, So now's not the right time. And it may never be the right time. I do like here. There are negatives to Thailand. You have to remember that. There are so many people, oh my God, it's such a dream. Oh, it's paradise. Oh God, get real, man. Get real. You need to get real. It's a really nice place. I am fortunate that I have made it here for this long, and I'm glad that I've lived here, and I've learned a lot of things, and I enjoy Thai people, and they don't bother me. I don't get bothered, and I like that. But there are negatives. You just have to admit that, just like anywhere. Okay, let me see here. Okay, that was the overstays. That's what I was talking about. All right, what are these guys talking about here? Retired here in Karat. They stopped the unlimited 30-day somewhere. Oh, yeah, they made it 2 weeks. Yeah. See, this is the thing. If they go in over to the east of Thailand, they may only get, well, I'm not saying they won't get 2 weeks, but somebody might ban them. Maybe they go down in the south, nobody cares, and they let them through. It hasn't been that strict. I know people who have gotten in, but I understand for the most part they have canceled that and just stopped letting people come in. I live in Montana, and the one thing I am happy about here is we have crystal clear air quality, like in the 10s and 20s. I mean, that's great. But what about everything else? I know about Montana, and Montana's a nice place. I don't know that I'd want to live there, even as nice as it is. I think there are better places to live in America than Montana, but I know it is very nice there. I mean, there's a lot of nice places. That's the thing. People forget about that. There's a lot of nice places to live, and it all comes down to you. Where do you want to live? It's all about preference. 2006, Thailand tightened visa rules banning back-to-back. See, this 2006, back-to-back visa runs. Some embassies refused multiple tourist visa application, multiple entry. And that's something in the past. It used to be 1 year. You could get a 1 year multiple entry tourist visa that was good for 15 months. Then they brought it down to 6 months, and I'm not sure about now. In 2009-44. In 2008, Thailand started limiting land. Here it is. Limiting land border visa run to 15 days instead of 30 for certain nationalities. All right. In 2010, digital systems, overstay penalties, and TM30 reporting. TM6, TM30, the 90-day report, they're all irritants. They're irritants to me. But they are not such large irritants in my life that I'm sick of them and you know what, I don't want to do them. I can't live here because of that. They're minor inconveniences. It's like renewing your driver's license every 2 years instead of every 4 years. It's not a big deal. 2014, the military coup led to stricter enforcement of visa rules. Tourist visa exemption limited to 6 entries per year by land. Okay. Visa runs became nearly impossible. Some foreigners were denied re-entry after multiple short stays. That's why you have to go somewhere else and live there for, say, 2 weeks or a month, then come back. Now, in 2016, and this is when I was contacted by immigration and I did a video for them, the overstay penalties were introduced. The further overstay penalties. Overstaying 90 days is a 1-year ban if they catch you. If you go in, I don't think it's a ban, but I'm not sure how it works now. I don't remember, but I had a chart and I remembered everything, but now I've forgotten it. If you overstayed for 1 year, it is a 3-year ban. If you overstayed for 3 years, it is a 5-year ban. And if you overstay for 5+ years, it is a 10-year ban. Unbelievable. You're saying you have to pay tax. That's not always true. I think if you overstay a visa, you're an illegal alien. At that point, you need to be deported. Well, if you think about it, when you come in, if you're, if you're a non-immigrant on a non-immigrant visa and you overstay, then your visa is no longer in effect. So you're illegal. And I don't understand why people are so dead set against saying that people who go into the United States are illegal if they go in illegally, if they don't go through the proper channels. I never understood that. But as far as the taxes go, why do I have to pay tax? Why? I have Social Security. I have other money. And I don't pay tax in Thailand. And I'm here for more than 180 days. And I will not pay tax in Thailand. Unless if you watch my video from, when was it? Let me see here. March 12th. What's today? March 14th. From Wednesday. If you watch that video about the residency tax bill and how it could change the citizenship-based expat tax format to a residency-based format, now that may change some things, but I will still not have to pay on my Social Security. It's written into the double taxation agreement that Social Security cannot be taxed in Thailand. There are certain things that cannot be taxed here. If you're an American, you may have to pay tax in America if you reach a certain threshold, but you're not going to have to pay here. And that's why this whole taxation thing is, I think, people are they're so worried about it. And they're like running off, getting their tax number and all kinds of stuff. Ugh, I already have a tax number. And I don't have to pay taxes. So that's the way that goes. That's bullshit. Nobody said that. That is bullshit. You don't have to do it to renew your visa. That is ridiculous. Well, if I earned money here in Thailand, then I would pay tax on that money if I reached a certain threshold, which is easy to do here. But because I'm paying tax in the United States, I probably don't have to pay anything here. It depends. The only thing that I really use here is, I go on the roads. I pay money to use the BTS and the MRT, but I'm paying money for that. Okay. But I use money to ride on the roads in taxis and whatever else I'm riding on the boats, the boat taxis, whatever. So I do use the system, but I also pay a lot of money into the system, you know, so I don't feel bad about anything. Not anything. All right, so let me go on here. The Smart Visa was introduced, I guess, in 2018. 4-year visa for highly skilled workers, in investors and entrepreneurs. And in 2018, the mandatory 90-day reporting was started to be strictly enforced for long-term visa holders. Now, I've really never had a problem with the 90-day visa just because you can do it online. You can do it through the mail if you want, which is, you get the paperwork, you fill it out in like 5 minutes, you get a little envelope, put a stamp on it, stick it. You just get that from the post office or the postal place where you send from, and they send it for you. You send it EMS, or you do it online. It's a piece of cake. You still got to do it though. Well, until it happens, I travel sail. I travel safe or sail. Until it happens, it doesn't matter. Nobody knows that. You don't have to do it to get your visa. That's nonsense right now. When they say, we're going to attach it to your visa, then it's a problem. And I don't see that happening, quite honestly, because people are going to have to, it's going to be such a headache for them if you think about it. No, Social Security is not taxed in Thailand. It is tax exempt under the U.S. Thailand double tax uh, agreement. It's Article 20. So I'm not going to worry about that. Try getting into Australia if you're from Thailand. One day we will plan on bringing the wife, sister out for a holiday. I'm guessing I'll have to somehow sponsor or guarantee. That's how it is in the United States. I mean, you just, you got to do what you got to do. And, it's supposed to be reciprocal. Thailand isn't nearly as difficult at all as it is for Thais to get into America. Now, my wife, I was really surprised. It was like, you got to fill everything in online, and then you make an appointment and you got to go, right? So we did that. She did I just told her, this is what you got to do. Fill this out. She filled everything out online. Okay, I got an appointment on, April 1st, we'll say. She went in on April 1st. I said, you want me to go with you? I know I can't go in with you, but, maybe I go with you for moral support. She goes, you don't got to go with me. I said, okay. She goes in at like 10 a.m. At like 10:15, she calls me up. All right, I'm done. I'll have my visa in 1 to 2 days. I was like, wow. I can't believe it's so easy. But there's a difference, honestly. There's a difference between some chick who's been living on the farm, who has no money, who has no reason for coming back to Thailand, who, if going to the United States, if she went to the United States, it could be a much better option for her to live there, work there, stay there, than if she were to come back to Thailand. Now, if people have money already, and they have money in the bank, and they have a job, and they have children like we do, she has a reason to come back. She got her visa on her own. I didn't go in with her. I didn't sponsor. I didn't do anything. The kids didn't need anything because they have 2 passports, right? Of course, I didn't need anything, so it was easy. But the very first time that she went, I flew separate from her because I had a free ticket. So I'm flying, and I tried to schedule it to where I would land, and then she would land like an hour later. And so we both landed in New York, and I'm standing there waiting, and I see her come with the kids, and I'm like, oh, please, I hope she gets through. I was like, I hope they don't, torture her with the questions. And like 2 minutes later, she comes through. I go, all right. So they're not trying to, I think they just try to keep it legit, and that's really it. All right, let's go on here. In 2019, yeah, don't believe everybody or everything that you hear. 2019 TM30 reporting enforced. Landlords required to report foreign tenants' stays within 24 hours. Now, I know that they say 24 hours, but before in the past, my landlord would do it, and it would be like, 3 or 4 days later, and they didn't say anything. But I don't worry about it now. So, okay. So 2020 present, post-pandemic, and new visa options. 2020 COVID-19 visa extensions granted due to global travel restrictions, health insurance requirements introduced for retirement visas. Well, I think that's the non-immigrant OA, which is what you get when you're outside of the country. But if you're in the country when you get your visa, it's a non-immigrant O. And you don't have to show the insurance requirements, the insurance that they require. In 2022, Thailand pass system for tracking foreign entries was introduced and then later removed. Quite frankly, everything that happened over the pandemic, I hope that never happens again in our lifetimes. I hope there's never another pandemic again, because that was a major pain in the ass. And I traveled around in the country, but I didn't go anywhere for like 3 years. And I'd just come back from Hong Kong and the protests there. And I was thinking about going back. That was in December. I came back. I think it was December 8th or something. I came back and I was like, wow, well, I'm glad I came back, but maybe I got to go one more time. It was always like, one more time. Are there going to be more protests? Are the protests going to be really harsh? Are they going to be shooting people? What are they going to be doing? And I kept thinking that. And I wanted to go back. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, but it's steadily gotten easier to be there to where the protests were not that harsh anymore. In the beginning, they were really gnarly. And so in February, that's when the COVID started and all these restrictions went into place. And anyway, Thailand elite visa becomes more popular as other visas become more restricted. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting an elite visa. I think maybe I'd wait until I'm 65. If I was 65, maybe I'd get a 20-year elite visa. I just pay for it, and then I wouldn't have to worry about anything. I don't know. I think about it, and I think it's pretty easy now. In 2023, the long-term resident LTR visa was introduced, 10-year visa for wealthy retirees, skilled professionals, and investors. I don't really like that visa. I don't think it's very good personally, but the e-visa system was also launched, allowing online applications for many visa types. Never used that. Thailand extended tourist visa exemptions from 30 days to 45 days, later reverted in 2024. I thought it was 60 days, then 45. Let's see here. That's amazing. Most people say immigration sucks. I haven't found it to be the case. There is a lot of paperwork. It is a bit of a pain in the ass to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. But other than that, And what I did was my wife filled all the paperwork out herself, and she just said, will you go over it and check everything? And I said, okay, no problem. So I checked everything for her. Like, yeah, everything looks good. Okay, no problem. And then that was it. Correct right now, not required paperwork, but they are going to implement that for expats, business owners, specific visa holders, 6 months plus will need a tax ID. You don't know that. You say that, but you don't know that for sure. You're just telling what you've heard. And I don't believe Siam Legal says, oh, it's for sure now. They're going to attach it to the for the visa holders. I just don't see it, man. You think about the hassle that there's going to be. Everybody then they're going to have to check the taxes for everybody who gets a visa. That's just bullshit. Most people in Thailand don't even pay taxes. Do you know that? They don't even pay their taxes. Only like 10-20% pay taxes. It's crazy. Pandemic right and opposed all lockdowns and restrictions. We have freedom here in Montana. That's good. Thai visa rules sound complicated. Well, they were complicated. They were a pain in the neck. I mean, you can say what you want about them. Oh, well, we're safe. And, I got my shots just because I thought, oh, well, it's the right thing to do. But now that I look back, I'm not getting another one. It ain't going to happen. It's never going to happen. I will never do it again. Unless there's some pandemic going around where if I breathe the wrong air, I'm going to just keel over right there and die. I am not taking any shots. And I want to see that that's the truth. If I start seeing people walking around just dropping like flies, well, that's one thing. All right, let's see here. We got a little bit left here. So the summary of key changes and years. 1975, 30-day visa exemption introduced for select countries. 1992, 60-day tourist visa introduced. 1998, non-immigrant OA visa introduced. So I suspect the O visa was introduced then also. Let me just see here. Let's take a look here. $1994. Well, we'll just say somewhere between 94 and 99. I'm not really sure, to be honest, but let me go on. 2001, overstay fines officially introduced, but weak enforcement. 2006, Thailand began cracking down on visa runs. Land border entries in 2008 were limited to 15 days for some nationalities. 2014, visa runs severely restricted, multiple tourist visas harder to obtain. 2016, overstay bans introduced 1 to 10 years, depending on the length of overstay. So almost 9 years since they called me. And I still remember I was in a taxi and immigration, I get this phone call and, I'll answer if there's a number on my phone. I'm not like one of these guys who goes, oh, I don't know this number, I'm not going to answer, because I got people call me that sometimes I don't know their numbers. So I just, like delivery people and stuff like that. So I answered the phone and they were like, sir, we're from immigration. I was like, immigration? What did I do wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong. I was like, okay. Can you meet with us? And I was like, are they going to arrest me? What's going to happen? I was like scared shitless. I was like, what did I do wrong? And I got there and they were so friendly. There was like 9 of them there. Let's see here. 2014 visa runs severely restricted, multiple tourist visas. Okay, overstay bans. 2018 smart visa introduced, 90-day reporting strictly enforced. 2019 TM30 reporting enforced for all foreign residents. Another stupid. To me, it's just stupid. 2020 COVID-19 visa extensions and health insurance requirements for retirees. 2023 long-term resident visa launched, the LTR, and e-visa system implemented, and now we're going to have a 300 baht fee attached. We're going to have to pay a 300 baht fee. What is it? The entry fee. They are trying so hard to get money out of foreigners. They're trying to get the money while they can, which I find them listen, I understand they need money, but why don't you maybe go after people not paying their taxes? If you've got some people that are working and they don't pay taxes, why are they not paying taxes? Why not get money from them? Oh, they don't have money? Oh, well, what? Then what's the tax system for? Additional expansion points. Early visa policies, 70s and 80s. It was an open door policy in the 70s and before that, with few visa requirements for expats. Now, in the 70s, I wasn't here. I know a couple of people who were, but I wasn't. I didn't come until, I think, 1994. The rise of tourism, maybe it's 93 even, rise of tourism during the 1980s and how the government in the 1980s began formalizing visa requirements. Some of the first visa categories that appeared during this time, such as the tourist visa and non-immigrant visa. It's interesting to see that they didn't even have visas in the 70s and 80s. It was just the start of them. And here we are in 2025, and you got so many freaking it. Listen, you know what they remind me of? They remind me of like True. You want internet from True. Oh, which one is the best plan? Well, we've got this one, we've got that one, they got so many plans. They confuse you, and you don't know what is the best plan. And then they go, well, I recommend this for you. Okay, I guess. And you don't even know if it's really the best plan for you. And I'm not picking on True. It could be AIS, although I have a very good plan with AIS. My plan is 399 baht a month, which is about $12. So my internet on my phone and my phone service, and I can use this internet as a hotspot, is $12 a month. And I get 60 gigabytes, which I almost never use. I almost never use all of it. So for 12 bucks a month, I ain't complaining. Now, I do have internet at the house, and that's 22 bucks a month. And quite frankly, if we really wanted, we could do away with it, and then everybody could just have their own, they could just have their own 5G if that's what they wanted. I love the 60 days on arrival. Do you ever use marijuana if it's legal there? How old are you, man? I was probably using marijuana while you weren't even born. I mean, it's so funny that like marijuana is it's so important. It's not important to me. I used to be a big pot smoker back in the day, long ago, in my teens, in my 20s, a little bit in my 30s. And, I've tried it a couple of times here, and it's no longer for me. I don't get anything out of it. I don't want it. I don't want to eat edibles. I don't want to smoke it. I just don't care about it. Doesn't bother me. No, I don't think it should be banned. And it's good. It's legal to me. But now there's pot shops every freaking place you look. There are weed shops. Maybe they should kind of formalize the arrangement of having a weed shop. Maybe they should make it a little more regulated. What I'm surprised about what I'm really surprised about is that the kratom is as prevalent as it is. It's everywhere. And maybe you don't even know what you're looking at. But I can tell you that when I go down my street right here, there's at least 4 or 5 little booths where they sell not only kratom, but they sell weed. And they sell kratom, nam kratom, which is kratom tea. And then if you go down to the market here, kratom is not Satan. It's such bullshit. Unbelievable, man. I find it so irritating to hear people saying this because I've used it before. I don't care about it. I don't need it. I don't have to have it. It's not addicting. Maybe I don't have an addictive personality. And they do things here where sometimes they put in cough syrup with codeine into it. You know, it's like, if that's what you want to do, that's your thing. Okay, whatever. It's such bullshit. And, you know, I mean, I hear these guys, oh, I got so wasted off of it. I'm like, you don't get wasted from it. You don't get wasted from it. You don't get hammered. It's not like you're drinking and you drank a bottle. Oh, God. I don't even know, man. I've used it probably more times than you. But I can tell you, I've done all they do here. Now, I think that there are some places that, at least one place, that sells the capsules and the powder. I've never used that. I don't ever want to use it. I don't care about that because right on our property, we have a couple of trees. They produce leaves. I can chew those leaves. I get 2 or 3 of them. I chew them. That's fine. I don't even need 3. I could do 1 or 2. In the South and in many other places, but the South especially, they carry bags of them around. And every day, they may use 2 or 3 leaves. They're out there busting their ass on the farm, just like the coca farmers. They're out there busting their ass harvesting stuff. They get tired, eat a couple of coca leaves. That's what they do here. So the only thing that I would say is stay away from the 4x100, which is the codeine with the Coca-Cola, and what else did he put in there? Ice. I don't remember what the other one is. There's something else. Listen, I don't think you guys even know why kratom is legal here. Because it's not something that you're going to get. You're not going to get hammered on it. You're not going to get wasted on it. It's not going to change your personality. You're not going to be like, oh, I got to have another leaf. Oh, my God. It's so much bullshit. I did it with my son. He had 2 leaves. I had 2 leaves. I don't know why it's legal, because it's not deadly, man. It comes from the coffee plant. But now, if you add in the codeine, well, that's a different story. You start using codeine, and then now that can be addictive. So I would say don't use it with the codeine. All right. Boom of the 1900s and crackdowns. The rise of tourism in the 90s led to the need for better regulation. Supposedly the OA visa, retirement visa, shaped the expat community, and visa runs at the time were a very simple and popular way to renew your visa. Then the crackdowns came, then the financial crisis in 2008, and that reshaped foreign investment policies, and everything became more structured. Okay, I mean, I was here when the baht was 56 to the dollar, and that was great to me. It was good. Military coup of 2014 also impacted visa regulations, and the 2016 crackdown on overstays, the introduction to the smart visa in 2018, and then in the 2010s to 2020, you had I think it was 2018, you had the TM30 and 90-day reporting. They started enforcing this, and things started shifting with biometric checks and that sort of stuff. And now in the 2020s, we have the LTR visa, we have the elite visa, and now you have e-visas. And let's hope we never have any more COVID-19 visas and requirements. You have to show paperwork and all. I kept my paperwork for a long time, and now I'm like, you know what? I don't need it anymore. I don't care. So where do we go from here? Where do we go? And the thing is that, now they have this thing called the digital nomad community, which I kind of find a bit humorous, because I don't think you have a whole lot of digital nomads in the strict sense that Thailand views them, who are earning over $80,000 a year. I don't think there's a huge number of them that come here to Thailand. So I'm not sold on this yet. And apparently this system supposedly will continue to evolve so that they can continue to attract specific groups of foreigners, investors, retirees, professionals. What might happen if Thailand becomes more strict or more relaxed in the future, and what could it mean for expats and tourists? I don't really know. If it becomes more strict, I think it's going to be harder for people that don't want to go through the rigmarole. And I think if it comes more relaxed, well, then they're going to get more people. And already, when they start getting towards 40 million a year, they start having problems. And what I said a long time ago, I did the video saying, what if it hits 50 million? What if it's 45 million? Oh, we're so happy we have the money. That's what my wife said. Oh, the government would be so happy they get all the money. Yeah, they'll be happy, but the vendors and the people who live here might be going, they're ruining our country. Anyway, so that's where I am about this. Many, many changes over the years. So kind of interesting. Hey, listen, I haven't said anything today. Do me a favor. Smash the like button. Do that for me. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Sign up for the channel. Do all that good stuff. Haven't said a word about that. We've had like 42 viewers today, and I've only got 22 thumbs up, which is not very good. That's the end of that. By the time I'm done with it, it doesn't taste very good anymore. Now, fortunately, she gave me some water. All the people here have changed. I don't understand it. I mean, I do, but I don't, You got new chicks coming in here every couple of days. They got somebody new working here. Yeah, if you're a digital nomad and you're making over 80 grand, or you're working for a company making over 80,000, generally that's pretty good. I mean, if you're working for a company, that's understandable. But if you have your own business and you're making over um, $80,000 a year. That's pretty good, So I don't care really because I think I'm pretty much. I would say I'm about as bulletproof here as one can get. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm 100% bulletproof, but I think I'm pretty well covered, um, just because of everything that's available to me and the money and all that stuff. I think I'm fine. So, we'll see. And, my wife, she goes through her own, "Oh, we got to go here, we got to go there." And I'm like, oh, God. She goes places every once in a while. She's got to go to Vietnam next week. And I don't want to go, be quite honest. I really don't want to go. Um, and then I think she goes back to Phuket. Do I want to go there? Phuket? No. No, no, no. No going to Phuket. I'd rather go to some other places. And, that's the thing. Now it's I'm a little more refined in where I want to go. I don't necessarily want to go the same places I've been in the past. I've been to Vietnam already many times. What the hell do I want to go there for? Well, it's a nice place, but you got loads and loads and loads of tourists and many Russians. And I lived there. I've been there many times. I just don't need to go there. I have no desire to go there anymore. I mean, really, I don't even know how many times I've been to Phuket. Many, 20. But I lived there for a little more than a year. And, I lived there and I partied there and hung out there. And, it's just, you go down there, to me, it's a place where it's a little nicer than, say, Pattaya. But unless you're staying in some resort in the middle of nowhere where it's just peaceful. Why do I want to go there now? I've been to all over the place, so I just don't have the desire to go. Wait, so where do you want to visit? Dude, you have no idea about my channel, do you? You have absolutely no idea. I've been here for 30 years. Do you know how many places I've been in Thailand? Why do I want to continue to go to the same place over and over and over again? There are a few places that I want to go, and most of the time I don't talk about them all that much because I don't want people going there. I talked about Khonum, and now all of a sudden I see online there's people all over the place. Oh, you got to go to Khonum. Now, I don't know if it's because of me. I'm not saying that, but maybe, people did their research and figured out, oh, well, this is one of the places where there's not many tourists. Well, I don't care about pie. It had nothing to do with that. It happened to do with somebody who was talking about it. And at the time, I was like, we're not talking about pie. We're not talking about that place. I can't check them to see about the analytics. I have no idea. They're not that specific. I hate to tell you. If my U.S. bank finds out I don't have U.S. residence, they will close your account. No, they won't. That's so ridiculous. And the thing is I am still an American citizen, and I have an address in the U.S., and I'm not worried about it. They're not going to close it because I am somewhere else. That's not how it works. I find that kind of humorous. Our American, dude, that's really a general kind of a statement. Are Americans like? I mean, I guess if you're not an asshole, really. I started watching Scott's channel when he was walking the length of Thailand. Been hooked ever since. Yeah, that didn't work out so great, but I did my share there. I did walk across Thailand, considering my marriage was on the line when I was walking the length of the country. I still remember what my wife said. I don't want to have to go and pick you up off the side of the road like you're a dead dog. I can't even recognize you. It's just blood and guts. And you're on the side of the road and I got to pick you up. I've got to identify you. And I was like, oh, God. Then my kids come on. Daddy, she's right. Oh, God, that was hilarious. Now, walking across the country, that was a day. It was like 10 hours or something. So that wasn't too bad. And that was she can handle that. But when I start saying I'm going to be gone for 3 or 4 months or 6 months, I'll stop in Bangkok every once in a while so that we can meet up. She didn't like that very much. But even that was not that long ago. That was I don't know what, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I don't know, 6 years ago. I mean, I've been all over. I got videos on Burma, Nepal, Cambodia, Bangladesh. Where else? Laos. Oh, yeah. The sleeper bus to Hanoi, that was a classic. I asked ChatGPT the other day, where's a great place I can go that's adventurous and that there's not many tourists? Bangkok. I've been there. Yeah, you go to the, what is it called? The Hinsam. What is it? What the hell's the name of it? Three-wheel rock. I can't remember the name of it. Himsamwan, which is different than three-wheel rock. But anyway, been there, done that, So I like to go places where there are not many tourists, which is like, well, Sichon, that was a nice place. I mean, Kanom was a nice place. I don't know, but I would honestly, I mean, maybe if there was a nice place there, maybe I would live there. I don't know. Chumpon was nice. I like Chumpon. Maybe on an island somewhere. I don't know. Not in Krabi. Definitely not in Pai. I wouldn't live there. I wouldn't want to live there. I don't think I can live up in the north where the burning is. And and then it's like, okay, well, where am I going to go? I'm not sure yet. And then I just got to keep going. I keep going to wherever I want to go. Yeah, well, then you go to Malaysia. I don't want to go to Malaysia. I've been there already. Been there a couple of times. Been there enough to know I prefer Thailand over Malaysia. You can go to, what is it, Satun. You can go there. What's that other place? There's another place. Oh, God. Dowlo, I can do that in a minute. I mean, I can do that in a minute. It's right behind I just go on the boat behind at the back of the mall. And then from there, I go to the changeover place, or I could just walk down there. And I just sit on the electric boat. There's only a couple electric boats on the canals, 2 or 3. And then on the river, now I have been on the electric boat on the river. What about China? No, I don't want to go back to China. I've already been there. I've been to China and I've been to Hong Kong many times, 4 times in Hong Kong. China, I've only been twice and I had a good time one time. And I've been there for the Olympics. I covered the Olympics 2008. And then I went there for fights. And, we had a good time. But I found the Chinese to be, I don't even want to say a word. No matter what I say, it's not going to be good enough. I don't want to go there. I didn't like how they were in Hong Kong. I didn't like how they brought in Chinese, mainland Chinese, to come in and fight with the Hong Kongers. Why do I want to go to Australia, dude? Honestly, I mean, I think about Australia and I think about the money. That's what I think about, and I think about it's a continent. It's a country and a continent. So in order to see a lot of Australia, I need to travel a bit. I need to go to different places, which means I'm going to have to spend some dough. I'm not going to just go there with $1,000 and go, wow, let's go here. So that's why I don't go there. Maybe when I'm a little older, a little more relaxed, and I got more money, maybe I'll go there and I'll, hang out there for a month or so. But for now, I don't really want to go there. I mean, don't come to San Francisco. I've already been to San Francisco. I've been there before it was bad, and I've been there twice. And yeah, I had fun. I went there once with a girl. I went another time by myself. It was fun. It was fun, but it was at the time. It was. I mean, this is a long time ago. It was a little pricey. And it was a different kind of a place. We'll say that. That's all I really want to say about that. There's all kinds of places to go. Honestly, I just don't really feel like I need to leave Thailand right now. I'm happy where I am. I'm just trying to figure out the perfect thing to do. I can go to Tibet if I want. I can go to Japan if I want. I just need to figure out, do I really want to do that? I don't have the same desire to travel that I used to. Why? I've been to a lot of places. I've seen a lot of things. Now, I like being with my kids. I like hanging out at the house. I like relaxing. I'm like the old man now. I mean, I used to go out with my camera and I made money from photography. So I take my camera somewhere and go, oh, what can I go shoot? What can I do? Now I don't think that way anymore. Just have to figure out what is it to do. And that's it. I figured out Kanome. Well, there are other places like Kanome. I like the beach. I wouldn't like staying in Isan. Even Nakhon Phanom, which I liked a lot, was a very nice place. Oh, God. Now, I'm not going to Samut Prakan. It's not like a place where I really like. Listen, I'm not saying Malaysia's not a nice place. I'm just saying I live here. I don't feel the need to travel as much. If I want to travel, no. Why? I don't have to be a farmer. We have a farm. I don't do the work. Why would I do it? We just got a bunch of fruit, I don't know, a week ago. We got a bunch of fruit from our farm. We have just so much fruit and vegetable from the farm. And if I wanted, I can go down there and stay there and show what's going on there. And I mean, I can do that. And maybe I will soon, but my wife is a little busy. I want her to go with me. I don't want to go there alone and be with her sisters by myself, and I just don't want to do that. I want her to go. I want the family to go. Okinawa sounds good. That sounds good. And I heard it's very nice there. I heard a lot of good things. I like Chinatown too. Not yet, but the land has been cleared. The land in the back of the house has been cleared and it's ready to go. I don't know what they're waiting on. And I told my wife, I said, listen, you're going to plant those durian trees. Let me know because I want in. I want the money that those durian trees makes. So, why would I go to India? I have no desire to go to India. The only thing I ever wanted to go to India for is for the tigers, to the Sundarbans. And I could go to Bangladesh for that if I really wanted. And I've already been to Bangladesh, and I don't really want to go back. I mean, I'm just the kind of guy that I go, well, if I go somewhere and I think I've already kind of gotten a lot out of the place, well, then what do I want to go back for? Oh, God. I don't particularly want to go to the Marshall Islands. I'm sorry. Why, I used to have this adventurous, I want to go everywhere kind of a spirit. I don't have that anymore. I don't have the same feeling like, oh, I've got to. No, I don't. I, you know what? I'd rather just have a couple different formats of things that I do. Whether I come out, I have a coffee, I go to the grocery store, hang out with my friends, have lunch, come home, do whatever. Or, I go out for the morning and I go somewhere. It just doesn't matter. We had a Mike's brother visit from rural Thailand, but boxes of homegrown vegetables and fruits. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice when you can do that. And I mean, I went down there the last time and I was picking fruit. It was great. I mean, we're picking rambutan and lychee and all kinds of things there. Why would I do that? I don't need the money. Why would I consider opening up a weed shop? I mean, if we were to open up a weed shop, if we just grew the weed on our property, I mean, the safety issue and the people trying to steal it would be an issue. We got, I don't know now, maybe it's three trees, katam trees, and nobody cares about them. The kratom is 20 to 35 baht for 100 grams. Nobody is stealing it from your tree. And the leaves fall, so you can just walk by and pick the leaves up off the ground if that's what you want. The last time I was there, I said, have you had any of the kratom tree? And my wife's sister was like, nah, we don't mess with that. It's the men who are. The next thing I know, there's a pile of kratom trees on the table, and she goes, oh, you can have those. And I was like, So anyway, that is the last 50 years of. That's how things have changed. A little bit of insight into it. And I'm sure they're going to continue to change. $200 a gram. You know what, Dowlo? If your wife ever lets you get away for long enough and you can come down here, because I'm not going back to Samut Bakan. I don't want to take all those freaking. I don't want to take all those BTS and MRT and go all the way out to. You ever come out here? There's a guy right in the market, and he sells some stuff. It's cheap. I don't know how much it is, but it can't be more than that. He got bags like this. He has like 3 or 4 bags just sitting there. And, I'm like, well, maybe I should grab 1 or 2 of them, and just take off. And I'm like, what am I going to do with them? I should sell them to Dowlo, but I wrote some of it, and I took it from other places. So, Dowlo, just buy what you can afford and see how good it is, and then you go from there. If it's shit, you don't buy any more. Buy 8 grams for 200 baht, smoke some of it, and if you don't like it, don't get it anymore. It's only 200 baht. I mean, I know people who smoke the stuff. I don't want to do it. People have offered to me. I don't get the same. I don't feel as euphoric as I used to when I smoked it. I don't know, man. And I don't really care. I don't know. I guess if Israelis are in Haight-Ashbury, then maybe it is. I got shit for 2 things about talking about pie. First of all, somebody told me it's not pie, it's bai. It's not bai. And I know that for a fact. I don't care what Thai people say. It's not bai, and it's not pie. It's a soft P with a B. It's bai. Middle tone. Okay? And the other thing was that, people got pissed off because I was supposedly picking on Israelis. Could be any group. It doesn't matter where they're from. I don't care about that. I have no hard on for them. I don't care about, I just don't care enough. I don't care enough to really give a shit about Israelis or Germans or America. I don't care. It doesn't matter. All I care about is numero uno and my family and my friends. That's all I care about. Why do I care about them? And, now because of them, I won't go back there. I won't go there now. I don't want to go there because I don't want to deal with any of them. I don't care if they're Chinese. I don't want to deal with them. That's why I stay away from tourist places. Look at a perfect example. Look at Pattaya. How many fights do you hear about in Pattaya now? There's always brawls going on between the Indians and the Thais and the Chinese and the Americans and whatever it is. There's always brawls going on. You think I want to get in the middle of that shit? I don't want any problems. I just want to be chill, man. Relaxed. Might been right, giant yen. Try to go to places where there are plenty of Chinese and Indian tourists. I find them so polite and respectful of others. Yes, Tony, that's exactly how I feel. Why do I want to stress about anything? And I got to tell you, I saw an article from a couple of days ago. Well, you shouldn't dine and dash. I understand that. But, beating them up, that's kind of stupid. Why don't you hold him and wait for the police to come, and then they do what they got to do? Because this is how they think they got to take care of it here in Thailand. And, the truth is you don't have to do that. Now, what the hell was I going to say? Oh, an elderly couple. Apparently, they got beat up. And I'm talking about, I think the woman was like 66 and the man was like 75 or something like that. They were from England. Now, they have a place in Hua Hin. They've been living there 3 years. This Thai couple, who is their neighbor, did something and started to uh, do some construction that was infringing on their property. So they came out and said, hey, what are you guys doing? You can't do this. And they got them to stop. I guess the police were called and they stopped. And then later on, the people came back. When they walked out, the Thais came out. It was a man and a woman who apparently, used to fight in Muay Thai. And they beat this old couple up. Not cool. Not cool at all. Why would you want to beat up on old people? I mean, call the police again. Do something. But don't beat up on them. It's just stupid. You're wasting your energy. Not only that, it's just a negative thing. So they went to court. They got found guilty. Then they sued or filed charges or whatever it was against this old elderly British couple. The British couple was scared they were going to have to go to jail. So at the end of the day, now I don't know the whole story. I don't know what was going on. All I know is it ain't a nice situation for either of them. The couple had to pay a fine that was equivalent to 200 pounds each. Something like 15,000 baht. Or, let me think here. Yeah, something like 18,000 baht for both of them. So they paid the fine. And when they got out, they paid the fine. I guess they packed their shit and they left and went back to England. Now, you may not think it's that much, but when people hear about this, it puts people off from coming here. This was not an aggressive couple. This was not a couple that was like, hey, we'll fight you. We're going to get you. And that's not what they were about. They were just an elderly couple, mellow, trying to mind their own business. And I think to myself, if somebody was doing something on my property, and I think about now what happens, sometimes people park in front of my house. And 10 years ago, I used to get pissed. And I used to go out and go, hey, what are you doing? Get this thing out of here. Now I go out and I go, Kun Kap, you not my, like, are you going to stay here long? Oh, sorry. And I always find that funny because we put our garbage cans out in the front and they move the garbage cans and they park their car. Now, I'd like to go out and bash them, but that's not the way you handle things. Yeah, exactly. The reason they got fined is because this would not have happened if you were not here. So they left. Now they left. Guess what? Thailand's going to lose all the money that they spend for rent, for food, for electricity, for everything. They're losing out on the money. Now it's only one person, two people, a couple. So they're losing out for whatever this couple brings into the country. But they're also losing on people who don't want to come here because they see, oh, the Thais are going to beat up on us. You heard the old guy kick back. I never heard that. I read about 3 or 4 articles and I didn't hear he kicked back. But what do you expect him to do if he's attacked? Should he not fight back and just let himself get pummeled? I mean, what would happen to me? Because you could say, hey, I used to fight in Muay Thai. And I go out and somebody's parked in front of my house and they say, I really don't want to move the car. I'm going to stay here for the next week. And I went, what do you say? Yeah, I'm going to stay here for a week. Pop, pop, pop. And I just light them up, kick them. I'd be going to jail. I guarantee you. I'd go to jail. And that's why my wife always says to me, don't get pissed off. Just stay relaxed. Be nice. And, I may not like it, but I do that. You know why? Because I learned my lesson here. I can't win here. I might win against one person, but against a gang of people in the long run, I will not win. Why do you ask that, Brandon? Are you high society? I don't think I'm high society. I think I'm just the same as everybody else. I'm not an elite. Okay? I'm not an elite person where everybody else are the peons. That's not me. And I've had plenty of interactions in my videos and in streams. Many interactions with people who they probably didn't have a pot to piss in. They weren't very well off. And I was very nice to them. And I'm very nice to people who they got money. It doesn't matter. Sabay Sabay, Mai Pen Rai, Jai Yin Yin. What was it? I used to hear this all the time. Suk Sabay. So do it. I forget what it is. It used to be a saying. It's like, Suk Sabay. I can't remember it now. I'm blanking out. So anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time and energy and coming in and having and communicating with me. Very nice. I'm either going to stream next Friday or I'll probably stream. Maybe I'll stream on Tuesday and then Friday again. I don't know. It was kind of nice having a week off. No worries, Dowlo. No worries. See if your wife will free you up. It may take you, you may be here half a day altogether, but, it may pay off for you, if you know what I mean. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, now we have all the students. What is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 students. Every time I see the students, I think of my kids. I think that's my kid. That way you're always nice to them. I try to be nice to them. So anyway, let me do my little shtick here. Remember to smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you'd like to support the channel, once again, you can join the VIP section for as little as $1.99. It might be $2.99, but I don't remember, to be honest. Also, if you want to send me a Dear Scott letter or need a consultation, email me at anamericaninbangkok@gmail.com. Okay. Yeah, or you can do whatever, super chat, whatever you want. I don't care. Honestly, it's nice and I appreciate it and it helps. Every little bit helps. But anyway, that's all I have for now. So until next time, I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok Di Leo Jerkan Mai, which means what? It means good luck, Chok Di Jerkan Mai, and see you again. Okay? Adios. Let's see here. Boom.